Ladies and gentlemen, we conclude the first hour tonight with our first tag team matchup of the evening. It's Lex Luger and Kurt Hennig, the perfect package, joining forces against the TV Tag Champions Killer and Psycho, the Texas Hangmen.
The next non-title tag team match is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Approaching the ring at a combined weight of 525 pounds, from Robbinsdale, Minnesota, Kurt Hennig, and from Atlanta, Georgia, Lex Luger, and together they are the perfect package.
A staple team out of the Bobby Heenan family, the perfect package, Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, and the total package, Lex Luger, in their first non-title scrap against the Texas Hangmen. And I gotta tell you, Don, I've never seen so many no thank yous in my office. No thank yous? When I offer people matches with the Texas Hangmen, they're like, no thank you. Or, we'll get to them at some other time. That means they don't want to face them now because they're too strong.
Their opponents, with MJ Ferrantino ringside, from the Lone Star State, at a combined weight of 634 pounds, the RWL Television Tag Team Champions, Killer and Psycho, the Texas Hangmen.
Let's just run down the list for fun, shall we? Since Tex Lynch introduced Texas Hangmen 2.0 to the world, they've been absorbed into MJ Ferrantino's circle, clean house at last year's tag title tournament, beating out the Guns brothers for those belts. They've only lost one non-title match since, and they put Scott Bell in a hospital for the week. I'm thinking, Myron, that maybe seeing that is why you're getting all those no thank yous, because these guys have stepped into the spotlight, fully prepared to knock down anyone trying to steal their shine.
I'll tell you what, Christy, I haven't seen a tag team like this in a long time, and I am duly impressed. Okay, I don't necessarily agree with all their methods, but you've got to admit that Texas Hangmen are definitely the real thing.
Lex Luger starting off for the perfect package, and as per the Texas Hangman rule, Killer starting off for his team. And once again, referee Willie Johnson sounds the bell. Lex Luger charges a shoulder tackle, takes Killer down to the mat. Killer counters with a kick to the head, quickly back up. And with Lex Luger down on the canvas, drives a knee into the arm of the total package. Luger back up to a standing position, catches a right, but quickly counters Killer. Gets a hold on him. Military press. Pure power from Lex Luger, allowing Killer to drop to the mat. A stomp to the arm as Lex Luger turns it over to Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. Killer back on his feet, catches a drop kick from the Perfect one, taken down to the canvas, and Hennig pins immediately. 1, 2. MJ Ferrantino rallying the troops at ringside. Mr. Perfect whips Killer to the ropes, ducks under. Here comes Killer. He leapfrogs, and a back body drop to Killer. Kurt Hennig goes to work on the head and neck area of Killer of the Texas Hangmen. A non-title match with Kurt Hennig and Lex Luger facing off against the TV Tag Champions, as Lex Luger is once again brought in on the tag. Killer back up to a standing position, and a quick clothesline takes him right back down again. Lex Luger going after Psycho, brings him in the hard way. How about this? A hard right hand to Killer. And MJ Ferrantino perhaps taking exception to Lex Luger's handling of his merchandise. They are really getting into it. Killer rolls back into the ring, gets a hold on Lex Luger, has him up. Look at this. Oh, what a suplex from Killer. Psycho snaps out of it. Lex Luger counters with both boots, gets back up to a standing position. Psycho calling for the tag, and he gets it. Lex Luger comes around, a shoulder tackle takes him down. Both Texas Hangmen taken down here by the total package. Lex Luger, who is absolutely in control and large and in charge. Luger steps out, steps back in off the apron, locks it up. Here's a whip to the ropes, and here comes Psycho. A whip to the ropes, a double team. A Dudley death drop, a 3D. As Psycho takes over for the Texas Hangmen. Lex Luger locked up, whip to the ropes, and a kick right to the chest and a kick to the back of the head. A nasty 1-2 count. Whoa! He just dropped all his weight on Lex Luger's chest. There go your ribs. Psycho whips Luger into the Texas Hangman's corner. Here comes Killer again and an incoming double team. Again, Lex Luger about to catch it from both Texas Hangmen. A little high five, a little rebound off the ropes, and double headbutts to both rib cages. Well, now, Killer resuming the attack on Lex Luger, who might want to consider tagging in Curt Hennig, and he certainly has. Mr. Perfect moves on in. There's a couple of hard rights. And another. Dropping Killer to the canvas. Killer shoves him back. Drop kicks Lex Luger on the way out. And over the top, but does not find the mark. Curt Hennig just sidesteps him, and a set of driving knees to the chest of Killer on the outside, with the referee initiating the count. Mr. Perfect collides with Killer. Killer tags him with a right. Rounds him up over the shoulder. Mr. Perfect with a quick counter and an inverted DDT to Killer. A hard right hand. A fireman's carry. Mr. Perfect picking up where Lex Luger left off. Firmly in control of the Texas Hangman at the present time. Mr. Perfect hurling Killer back inside the ring. Takes the long way around, but here comes Psycho on the tag. A running kick to the face. Drops Curt Hennig. A rebound off the ropes. A beautiful crossbody. Here's a pin. 1, 2. That was a beautifully executed crossbody. Psycho locks it up with Mr. Perfect. Head first into the turnbuckle he goes. Curt Hennig whipped out of the corner, and a beautiful kick right to the side of the head. Psycho rallying the fans here in Fairfax as Lex Luger comes in on the tag, takes him down quickly. Lex Luger extremely aggressive in this match. There's a kick to the chest of Psycho. A stomp to the lower abdomen from Lex Luger. Luger rounds him up by the throat, both hands, and tosses the big 300-pounder halfway across the ring. A running kick to the face from Psycho to Lex Luger. As Killer is brought in on the tag again, the Texas Hangman trying to turn things around here. There's a cheap shot. Psycho drops Lex Luger to the outside. Turns his attention to Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect counters him, but an enziguri takes Perfect down to the floor. The referee now counting the total package. Lex Luger, as Killer is brought back in on the tag. The Texas Hangmen certainly have turned things around rather quickly. Lex Luger back on his feet and back inside the ring now. Killer mocking him. Lex Luger rounds him up for a front fatal. Slams his back into the turnbuckle and tosses him towards center ring. Quickly going for a couple here. 1, 2, no. Just a 1. Killer rounded up by Lex Luger for a backbreaker. Lex Luger firmly in control again as he tries to turn things around. What a matchup we've got going here between the Perfect package and the Texas Hangman. Lex Luger putting the boots to the hands and fingers of Killer. Turning his attention away and tagging in Mr. Perfect. A running kick to the face takes Curt Hennig down to the canvas. Here's a quick pin from Killer. 1, but barely just a 1. Curt Hennig still far too strong. Hennig whip to the Texas Hangman's corner. Slant turned around and a hard shot to the back. Killer turns him around yet again. Drapes the leg over the middle rope. Delivers the kick to the calf. Mr. Perfect hobbles out of the corner. There's a set of shots from Killer. Mr. Perfect rounded up over the... Oh my. What a nasty way to deliver a piledriver. And now the boots being put to the Perfect one. The Texas Hangman quickly regaining control of this situation here as Killer gets ready to warm up something bad for Mr. Perfect. A running... Whoa, he missed it. Mr. Perfect must have ducked out of the way at the perfect time, literally. Here's a neck breaker. from Killer to Mr. Perfect. And here comes Psycho on the tag as Mr. Perfect rolls to the outside. The referee starts to count on him. Lex Luger countering Psycho. Counter Psycho a second time. Mr. Perfect back on his feet, making his way back into the ring, but down goes Lex Luger. Psycho turns around, drives a knee into the head of Mr. Perfect. The Texas Hangman turning things around in this matchup yet again. Mr. Perfect whipped into the Texas Hangman's corner. He counters with an elbow, spins Psycho around and into a sleeper hold. Just about center ring. But a jawbreaker disengages Mr. Perfect from Psycho. He locks him up. Has him up over the shoulders in a fireman's carry. Lex Luger finally back at his tag corner. Mr. Perfect hung up off the top rope. And here's a pin. 1, 2. But Mr. Perfect kicking out of that one. Psycho really letting Curt Hennig have it. Not just a beating, but a verbal tongue lashing as well. Perfect whipped into the Texas Hangman's corner. One more time he counters. He goes after Killer. Swings and misses. Psycho rounds him up for a military press drop. And down crashes Mr. Perfect. Into the corner he goes one more time. Here's a tag. And a double team incoming. Another one, another 3D from Mr. Perfect. The Texas Hangman again resuming control. Look at this. He's going after anybody with a pulse. Mr. Perfect rounded back up. He quickly gets the upper hand over here, and there it is, the Perfect Flex with a pin. 1, 2. That could have been it right there. But a kick out at 2 from Killer. Killer whipped into the corner of the Perfect package. There's a kick to the midsection from Curt Hennig and grinding the face against the top rope. Curt Hennig rounds him up for a vertical suplex. And Killer seems to be having his difficulties as Lex Luger comes in and tries to keep the momentum going for his side. Curt Hennig looking on as Lex Luger drags Killer towards center ring. Killer slowly trying to make his way to a standing position. Winds up the arm, slams down Lex Luger face first into the canvas. Killer, one more time, into the Texas Hangman's corner. He's going to take this one himself. Whoa, a double rebound off the ropes and a spinning punch to Lex Luger. Killer whips Luger once more into the Texas Hangman's corner. There's a kick to the ribs. There's a second. There's a third, and out comes crashing Lex Luger. Oh, man, the Texas Hangmen are fired up. Luger on the outside apron. Back to a standing position. And, oh, he is about to catch it. 10 sharp punches to the chest. And when that is over, he's going to go collapsing to the floor. And there it is, number 10, and down goes Lex Luger. Killer turning his attention to Mr. Perfect, tags him with a right, tags him with a second right. Decides he's had enough and turns it back over to Psycho as Lex Luger finds his way back to a standing position. Psycho standing right there waiting for him. Lex Luger rounds him up into the torture rack. Possible submission here. That was a big mistake. Psycho missed out by delay, but he is tagging Lex Luger with shots to the head, gets himself out of that torture rack. Luger rounded up again for another military press drop from Psycho. And once more, the Texas Hangman turning things around. Psycho targeting Luger. Swings and misses again. Lex Luger sidesteps him, but here's a quick kick to the midsection. Luger whipped to the Texas Hangman's corner one more time. Now a set of driving knees into the midsection of Lex Luger. Down he goes into a seated position into the corner. There's a boot to the chest. There's a second. And Lex Luger catching the full weight of Killer all the way up. And double knees right into the chest. MJ Ferrantino loving what he's seeing right here. Here's a pin and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. But Curt Hennig right there to break that one up. Lex Luger struggling to get himself stood up, and Mr. Perfect catches an elbow to the throat. Lex Luger with a clothesline. An overhand right. Swings and misses with another. Gets a hold. And a shoulder tuck. Lex Luger, extremely aggressive in this matchup. You really got to hand it to him. Lex Luger catches a flying punch off the ropes. Here's a pin. 1, 2, 3. That is going to do it. The Texas Hangman defeating the Perfect Package by pinfall.
Here's the time, 7 minutes and 53 seconds. And your winners, the Texas Hangmen.
We'll chalk up another one for Killer and Psycho. I can expect a lot more no thank yous in my office when I go setting up the next set of matches for Snarl.
The Texas Hangman picking up a solid win over the Perfect Package by pinfall. And yes, indeed, Killer and Psycho have made quite an impact. That concludes the first hour of tonight's RWL Rage. Ladies and gentlemen, we will return with the second half right after the break.